I will say, in the world of video games, there is one sequel I'm seriously looking forward to. That would be Cyberpunk 2, also known as Project Orion. There are so many things about Cyberpunk 2077 that I loved. From Jackie Wells, my boy, obviously Pan Am, she was awesome. Johnny Silverhand, so many wonderful characters. But I know this much that in this one, there's so much that I'm also looking forward to. But I'm kind of curious as to what it is that you would like to see in Cyberpunk 2 Project Orion. So stay tuned. It was 2020 when CD Projekt Red released Cyberpunk 2077, and they released a mess. They released something so damn near unplayable. And actually, it was unplayable to so much, but you kept sticking with it and trying and struggling. And then they finally decided maybe we should put some attention into this. And they did right by all of us. Guys, if you are new here, please feel free to subscribe to That's Fair Podcasting or Gaming Geeks Live. Maybe like the video, help us in that algorithm. It's always at your mercy here. And if you don't do any of those and you watch this video on what I'm hoping to see in Cyberpunk 2, I sincerely appreciate it. I am Matt, and thank you for joining. But they did a lot to Cyberpunk 2077 on the DLC Phantom Liberty. I enjoyed it. I loved playing the main protagonist V. I loved Night City. There was so much that just like literally came into making this game so much better, and they did that so well. And to me, it ultimately ended up being, if I had to rate it by stars, I gave it a 5-star. That game kept me enthralled. That game kept me so involved. I loved the different routes you took from, I believe it was the Corpo, not my favorite, from the streets or the nomads. And I think the nomad route was the best one to take. It was obviously the best one to take also with Pan Am Palmer. But I sincerely ended up loving that game from start to finish. The replay value is extremely high. And there was so much in it, from the side quests. Like, I love the Ripper Docs, constantly, leveling up your your cybernetics. I loved all the police activity. You're going to these different areas, and you gain a bunch of shit, you sell it, but you're always trying to upgrade, especially your cybernetics. But it was such a and the story, guys. The story in Cyberpunk 2077 is a classic. With Keanu Reeves, that did such a great job at Johnny Silverhand, and it was awesome. It was a great alter ego, but I'm kind of hoping that it doesn't give you that countdown type of feel in Cyberpunk 2. That's just my opinion. There are some rumors for Cyberpunk 2 Project Orion that I will address before I kind of go over some of the things I'd like to see and some of the things that scare me they may put in there. There is a new protagonist. Obviously, you're going to get an all new protagonist, much like you did V. I just hope that you're not one of those that you have to race against time. I kind of don't want to share I don't want an alter ego in this one. I kind of want my own thing, because as sequels go, you usually get a bigger map and you get so much more thrown in there. I don't want to feel rushed. Not that Cyberpunk 2077 rushed you necessarily, but as V, you knew that, you were constantly, your infection was slowly getting worse and worse. You had Pan Am, if you chose that route, trying to help you. She wanted, her nomad gang to help you out. I can't, it's not that old, so I won't give you any spoiler alerts, but there are several different ways you can end that game. And I ended it in a very good way, but I don't want any infection. I don't want any race against time. There is a possible dystopian Chicago city, a city based on Chicago, with Night City still going to be available as well, from what I've heard in the rumors. You're going to have a Chicago-style city. That's exciting. I'd like to see how deep they go into it, how many buildings will be enterable versus how many were in the first Cyberpunk 2077. But like I said, you still retain Night City in this one, so maybe you're bouncing back and forth from what this is in the rumor mills. This is what we've been able to read. Anybody can look this up. But yeah, it's like I said, it's like a dystopian version of Chicago, and I'm sincerely looking forward to it. There's also supposed to be a new threat of rogue AIs in this Cyberpunk 2 Project Orion. Whatever that means, are you going to be one of the heroes that has to race against these rogue AIs and save humanity? It's going to be these rogue AIs are, I guess, breaching what's called the Black Wall. You guys should be familiar with that. And I think it's going to depict how humanity handles rogue AIs, how it handles the cybernetics. It's going to be a lot of wealth disparity in this game. There's going to be a lot of corporate conflict as well. So you may be able to pick one corporate side or another, and you're going to be conflicting with more corpos, how they always put it in Night City, corpos. So you're going to have a lot of that. Humanity is going to be dealing with a new technological age. They're going to have to learn to deal with the technology. Unlike they had to in Night City and Cyberpunk 27, there's going to be more of an emphasis on that. And like I said, there's going to be more of an emphasis on corpo versus corpo. So if you choose another background and you choose a corporate route, maybe you're going to be climbing the high ranks of your corporate office and be some kind of agent and infiltrate and things like that. The possibilities seem endless. I hope CD Projekt Red does this and does it with good justice. Now, there are fear and wants. I'm going to go over the fears real quick. There's not a long list of them. I don't want any progressive bullshit. I don't mind same-sex relationships. It's organic. It's real. There are same-sex relationships everywhere you go. And so, yes, I don't want like the likes of pronouns in this game. They weren't fucking in 2077, so let's not introduce the likes of pronouns like you had it in like Dragon Age, the Veilguard. And so let's keep a lot of the progressive shit out. A lot of gamers are worried about Witcher 4. I am still not worried about what CD Projekt Red is doing with Witcher 4 yet. It has Ciri, and everyone was worried she started looking too manly. Well, Ciri's older. I'm going to give this game the benefit of the doubt and try it. The only thing I didn't like is the woman becoming the Witcher. It kind of goes against their tradition, but that's neither here nor there. I just don't want CD Projekt Red to make this too progressive, because I'm sincerely looking forward to this game, and I think there's a lot at stake for them here for the majority of us gamers. Now, a lot of the wants I would like to see are very small too, given the nature of the way Cyberpunk 2077 did it. It left a little room for want, in my opinion. But I'd like a bigger chance at a larger selection of apartments to, or even property to buy. There's so much that you could do. The more property you buy, maybe the more worth you become, and vehicles, obviously, I'd like to see more flying vehicles. It's kind of like if you've played Mass Effect, or if you're a Star Wars fan and you see how they fly on Coruscant. You get a little bit of that in Cyberpunk 2077. I'd like an air vehicle. I'd like to, how you see those long lines of traffics in the cityscapes up above. I'd like there to, be a different world of people that live higher up than those that we would call grounders. The ones who live lower are the more ones with the wealth disparity, like they're lower in class, and the people that live up higher in the buildings and stuff are higher class. That's just something I'd like to see. But I'd like to see more purchasable things, and I'd like to see a different rank of society where the higher up you live in your apartment or, your penthouse, the richer you're considered. And, anyway, guys, I'm sincerely looking forward to this. I'd like to know what your guys' thoughts are on this, what maybe you guys would like to see in Cyberpunk 2 Project Orion. It's not a very long video. It's just there's a little bit that has been rumored that I've kind of gone over. And, like I said, we're going to get Night City, but we're also going to get this new Chicago-style city. So that's something to look forward to, larger places to go. Obviously, when you have larger maps, you have more and more missions. So hopefully it's not empty shit like maybe Starfield did, pointless missions and kind of a shallow game. I don't think it will be, though, because I think CD Projekt Red has done right by us to this point. So anyway, guys, that's all I had. Thank you so much for watching. Sincerely appreciate it. Please feel free to subscribe to either channel you watch this on, That's Fair Podcasting or Gaming Geeks Live. And like the video. Again, we're at your mercy. But if you don't do any of those things and you just watched it, thank you so much. That means the world. And to all you gamers out there, all love, and I'm outro.